All right, so we're onto the car now, and like I said, so this is still somewhat warm. Yeah, somewhat warm, not too bad. It's not gonna really burn you. So this is the engine oil pan, engine oil with an arrow pointed to the drain bolt. So if you're unfamiliar with this car, it's on the pretty much on the passenger side where you have this like U-shape exhaust coming off the manifold. But most engine oil pans are gonna have this shape to it, as you can see, or this look to it. But it should say engine oil, and it should have an arrow point into the drain pan. So we got our oil drain pan. You can hear me shimmering around, and we're just gonna break this bolt loose and drain it in there. Just make sure it's pre-positioned so you don't make a mess. We'll just put our 17 millimeter on there. You can see it does not take much effort. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. It might get a little bit confused. You might feel a little bit confused about lefty loosey, righty tighty when you're laying on your back, but most people can like take it off like this. Like I said, I like using this tool right here. So once I break it loose, I just pretty much put it on there. It fits on there. See, it's just hanging loose. And I'll tell you the part number on this. It's actually an OTC. I don't know if you can see it right there. So it's 5911 alpha. And I actually have a bigger one that's for like bigger drain bolts, but here we go. Try to keep my hands out of the frame, and I just like twist, 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 and you're gonna see the oil come gushing out. Keep my hands on the oil pan or the oil bucket here in case I need to pre-position it, in case I need to move it to stop it from spilling. All right, here we go. And any day now, see that? And sure enough, as you can see, we'll just lay this in here. And then you just have to pre-position it, because when it starts like dripping, like it is right now, you could create a mess. So it probably wouldn't gush out like this had I not removed the oil cap up top initially. I just didn't want to go back up there and remove it. So I'll clean up whatever mess is on the floor after I'm done. But as it's starting to like taper down on draining, you just want to keep moving your oil catch pan. Like I said, here's that crush washer that came off it. So we'll allow that to drain for a few minutes till it comes to till it just starts dripping. Yep, everything is still going in the pan. I just got some splatter on the ground. That's fine. It's a dirty job, but I don't know. Simple stuff. And that's why you want to wear eye protection, because all those splatter and stuff, they could get somewhere. And also have some towels to clean up. So right now I'm just chilling, laying down. When you're under a car like this, your neck tends to hurt because you tend to lift your neck up. So just take a moment, relax. The next step of this is to remove the oil filter. In some cases you could like turn this, I could position this drain pan right now and try to remove that simultaneously and allow both of them to drain, but I don't want to make too much of a mess trying to aim and stuff. This is draining nicely. You can see this car has 81,000 miles on it, and it's I think it was at 20%, and the light on the car comes on at 15%, indicating that you need to do an oil change. So what we'll do next, we'll just get our 17, if you can see it, 17 millimeter socket on our torque wrench, and have that pre-positioned and ready to go. And I actually made a fool of myself because I have a 1/2 inch 17 millimeter and a 3/4 inch drive torque wrench. That's not gonna work. So I think I'll just I'll snug it up with my my wrench here. That's typically what I do anyway. I just wanted to show you guys by the book. So I think we can position this pan and start the process of draining the oil filters, since that's also going to take a little bit. But we'll just leave this here. We'll take this out. So we're going to use our oil filter wrench on extension, and like I said, this was the extension I was trying to show you guys, that it kind of, you can collapse by if you need more room or more leverage, that is. And this is like an easy red. So all right, in fact, this is at a drip. I let it drip some more. I like letting it drain as much as I can, and then I'll slide out and I'll grab the camera and see if I can position it. Grab some light. We'll grab our creeper. And while we're down here, we'll just make sure we replace the crush washer. Sorry, this is gonna get a little bit janky, so we'll just let that drip. But we'll grab the camera and kind of make our way out from under the car. Right, so we are out from under the car. Sorry about the video there. Kind of working in some tight, confined space here. We'll try to get this set up again so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right, so there's your oil filter blue canister. You can't really see the oil, but it's still just dripping down there in that corner. So we'll just make sure this pan is still able to catch that oil. I don't need the extension for this because as you can see, this oil pan sits right on top of this just above that frame, so there's not much room for an extension. You really don't need an extension to get in there, per se. So I'm just gonna leave this here, try to adjust it somewhat. And we'll get this on there and we'll break it loose. And hopefully it will drain in that pan. All right, here we go. I think my ratchet is on. Gotta flip the switch. There we go. Lefty loosey. And we'll just start ratcheting it. Remove it so you don't like mess your stuff up, and then you can remove it by hand the rest of the way. And it's gonna start leaking here shortly. Like, there we go, start leaking. I usually let it leak some before I take it all the way off. And this oil was definitely due for a change because it's super dark. Try to undo it some more. It's definitely gonna get messy, but try to keep it slow, deliberate. Try not to let the canister fall, because that is gonna create more of a mess. And this housing is pretty deep, so it's going to take several turns, twists to remove it. And the can is already slippered from all that oil on it, so that's why I said hold on to it as much as possible. Alright, there we go. Ooh, this thing is full. Bring it across here and down, and then we'll just flip it upside down. And let it drain, because we're gonna just drain as much oil as we can from that canister and dispose of it properly. So I'll clean my hands up and take you guys in for a close-up of what they were talking about, the filter, and making sure it's not, you don't like double gasketed or something. This is actually harder getting everything on video. As you can see, there was a bit of time there where it was all over the place as I was trying to work my way from under the car. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So what I'm doing right now is just like cleaning up the oil from off the surfaces that it made contact with. The only reason you really want to do that is because, well, it's the right thing to do. But if that thing tends to, if your car develops a leak or something, you want to be sure that it's a leak and it's not from your previous work. So yeah, we'll just let that drip a little bit, clean it up. I gotta clean up my hands here with some paper towels. I'll be back. All right, so basically all I have to do now is replace the filter, which I'm gonna do first, then go back and replace the drain plug. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, we'll grab our new filter. Rip the, like I said, new filter. Rip the plastic off. Make sure you don't get any plastic or anything down in the actual filter housing. We'll do that, and let me take you in a little bit closer, and I'll show you the oil filter maiden surface. As you can see right there, it's free of the former gasket that was on there. I just need to clean it up, make sure it's nice, because you can see the threads on there are in perfect shape, because you want to thread it on by hand or something. I'm not using any type of tools or anything. And then this is the gasket. This is the actual sealant gasket that they talk about. You don't want to have this on there on ×2, because then it's definitely going to leak. So what I'm going to do right now is fill this oil filter up with some oil, and like I said, I've already verified the oil is correct, so we'll go ahead and do that. So let's see. Alright. So we'll get this locked into place. Alright. So all I'm gonna do is, yep, I'm using the correct oil. And all I'm gonna do is fill this up a little bit. And again, that's just to prevent a dry start. And like the manual says, you just want to get a little bit of oil on this like filter, on the seal. And that's good. Just fill it up some more. Kind of let the filter absorb as much as the oil as possible. All right, I think that's good enough. So you also want to, when you refill your engine oil, you want to take the account of how much you kind of put in here, which it's not really that big of a deal. Obviously, it's not that much that you put in there, but it does add to the 4.5 that we need for a oil change and filter change as far as the capacity. So take that into account, that you don't like overfill it. So that's good, and then we'll just leave that sitting right there. Make our way back in here, clean up the housing. This video is already getting long, because it does take a little bit to get stuff done and talk about it. So we'll clean this up with some paper towel, some shop towel, shop rag, whatever. Make sure we don't have any, it's not marred up or anything, it's not gonna leak. It's in good working order. Yep, it's good to go. Then we'll just by hand thread our old filter, or new filter, sorry, back on there. Get it started. Boom, boom. Make sure it's not cross-threaded or anything. All right, right, it's on there, and we'll just spin it on. There you go. Go by hand until it snugs. There you go. And because I don't want this thing to go flying off for whatever reason, I'll put this back on there and I'll turn it just a slight bit so I can feel it's definitely snugged up. And this is where I talk about that little prying tool gets the stuff off. Let's see if I can. All right, so the ratchet comes off, but the filter tool is still on there. So we'll just put it in there, kind of just be mindful not to damage the filter. There we go. See, it's off, the filter is not damaged, snug in place, brand new. So the next step is to just go under there and remove that old, in fact we can access it from right here. We'll just replace the old, I'm trying to get that light out the fan. Replace that crush washer on here. Remove it from this tool. Obviously you got a little bit of cleanup after you're done, but nothing excessive. So we'll just clean up the old bolt that came out of there. Obviously if this is starting to wear or starting to show signs of, like, you know, rounding off or something, it's probably best to get a new one before it gets to the point where you can't remove it. So like I might consider getting a new drain bolt here in the near future, because the ends are starting to round off, and that could just be me using that 12 point instead of a 6 point. New crush washer, like always, put it on there. That's good. And I can probably access it from this end to replace it, and then I can just slide this pan out. We'll just try to remove that dripping oil, and I can just reach under, clean the surface as much as possible, and then all right, that is not going to work out well, so we'll come back and show you this and then refill the oil and all that stuff. So we'll end this video right here and do a part 3.